Hey, y'all, listen, happy Saturday. This is an express train, and I mean it. It's an express train. We're gonna do 60 minutes, not a minute after that. Express train, people. So happy Saturday. We're doing this express train because I think this is a really good topic. Erica Mena is kind of leading the topic, but the topic is really going to be these reality shows in general. These reality shows, they exploit the people, all of them. It's not just Bravo. I know lately the whole thing is Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. Bravo's the devil. Bravo and Andy Cohen. But let's keep it 100. It's not just Bravo. It's reality TV, period. And why am I saying that? Because Mona Scott, she ain't no better than Andy Cohen. They might be living in the same sandbox, so to speak. Or one might be leading over the other. And I won't say who I think it is. But, Erica Mena was over there on Loving Hip Hop Atlanta. She said a racial slur. And now all of a sudden, she's fired. Mona Scott's put on her Instagram, handled. Handled? Girl, excuse me. Y'all filmed it? Okay? Wait, hold on, Leah said. Before you start house, I said, the son is doing well. He snuck up on me. He here this weekend. He here, but he in the streets, okay? He running those streets. He at the mall with his friends. But he's here. I'm happy to see him, and he's loving school. Thank you. Yeah, come on, Jill. Talk about handled. Mona, get out of here, Mona. Handled. Hold on 1 second, guys. Wait, let me bring in my opinion because the kid is calling me. Hold on 1 second, guys. Talk for me in my opinion.
Listen here, everybody. Hello, welcome. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Give it Diva all the likes because she come here every just about every day. So give her a little like, okay? We're going to talk about these problematic reality shows, and trust me, I got a lot to say. Because Love and Hip Hop and Mona Scott is so out of pocket, okay? We need to, they talking about canceling the show, we need to cancel Mona, okay? She been talking for a minute, letting all these people come up here and make us look bad.
Ooh. I'm sorry, guys. The kid. But yeah, the kid is fine. The kid is fine. But listen, thank you in my opinion. I appreciate you. So yeah, we're going to talk about Erica Mena. We're going to talk about all of these reality shows in general because they're a hot mess. And these ladies and gentlemen, whoever on these reality shows, they're being used. I heard they don't even get that much money, those people that be on the Bachelorette. It's a mess. It's messy, and we're going to get into it. And if we have time, we're going to get into this grandmother that fell out the window, 88. She fell out the window. Well, let me take that back. She didn't fall out. The grandson pushed her out. We're going to talk about it if we got time, okay? But in my opinion, love you much. We about to bring the people on board this train. Y'all know, child, Mona Scott.
Love you too, Diva.
Yes, Mona Scott ain't no better than the Andy Cohen and whoever else. And I'm sorry, in my opinion, you might as well go ahead and throw Carlos King in the bunch too. But that's a whole nother story in and of itself. Reality TV exploits the people, period. All right. So y'all know what I need to board this train. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. We about to board this train for Saturday Night Express Train trending topics, okay? Let me bring the people in the building. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey Diva, hey everyone. Y'all not gonna like me today because y'all know what I'm gonna say. But hey,
Woo. Hey, Q.
Hey y'all.
Hey, Dustin.
Hi, Diva.
Emmanuel.
hello.
Julian. Hey. All right, people.
Hey y'all.
Hey, I'm going to go ahead and
Oh,
start.
Julius got his camera on today. Go ahead, Julius.
You know he like to mix it up, okay? He
Doing that cute baby face.
today. Show us the
Hi,
hair.
Julius.
Now. All right.
Oh,
Listen,
hey Dustin.
let me go ahead and share this screen so we could talk about the leading to this conversation. But really, it's generic to all reality TV, right? So the big thing is, now they're saying Erica Mena is fired. Okay, booted from Love and Marriage. I'm saying Love and Marriage from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Okay. Booted from Loving Hip Hop Atlanta after the monkey slur, right? So Erica Mena won't be on MTV Waves anymore because she called a black woman a monkey on one of their biggest reality shows, and the network fired her over it. So pretty much they're saying she's fired. I'm just gonna play this. I'm not gonna read this whole article because I have a whole video on this already. You can go watch this video, but so that we can have the conversation, I will show this because this is what she did.
Wait, that's what I'm talking. Wait, you said I know, right? That's what you said. Started the conversation and say I know. You don't know about my. I don't believe y'all just. Yo, you should have died, bitch. Y'all open the door. Let me out. Let me out. I'm gonna kill myself in here. Let me out, bitch. Your son hates you! Your son hates you, bitch! You monkey! You blue monkey!
Oh,
Oh,
it's a lot. Let me say this, and this isn't my
I don't
opinion.
agree with the comment, but
Well, hold on, Julius. Hold on one second. This is my opinion. They both wrong. The whole
Mm.
situation is toxic, and my thing is, why aren't more people being fired? If y'all running such an upstanding show here, toxic is toxic in my opinion. And they have had some worse things said on these shows.
Mm.
So I'm just wondering, like, does it take the public to alert you that something is not right? Because they had this footage and the footage never had the ear. If y'all was so upset about this situation, why did y'all even let this air? Why did you let her do more footage? Because y'all got 3 more shows that she's going to be on, right? Why did y'all allow this? That's why hold Mona Scott accountable. I'm sorry. They trying to gaslight us now by telling us, oh, y'all spoke and we listened. We shouldn't have had to speak. Y'all know that this was wrong. Why did y'all let it air?
that part.
Why did y'all let it air? And so let me just show you this real quick, and then I'm gonna go around and we all gonna talk. Let's go to Mona Scott's Instagram, and she puts up handled, okay, handled. Excuse me, what do you mean handled? If y'all was gonna handle it, y'all should have did it before it aired, and all we should have known is because something happened, she was fired. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Let me tell you something. First of all, I have no respect for love and hip hop because of the simple fact they put these people on here that's already broken. Okay, they put these toxic men on here that breaks them. It's just I'm tired of seeing broken women being exploited for pennies on the dollar. Okay, while they make millions, and then when stuff like this happens, they don't show no compassion, no respect, no nothing. They just air it and let us take in all this toxicity that they want to put out there. And Mona Scott should be ashamed of herself as a woman of color to do this to women. Erica has been broken for a while. Erica has been spiraling for a while. Somebody should have got this girl help.
Mhm. All right. Thank you. In my opinion, Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Oh Lord, we all know it's not gonna be good. Listen, Erica's Latina. Um, Er- I am Latino. I am Afro Latino. I am Black. In our culture, there is a limit, and that limit is when you talk about kids, kids, spouses, family in general is off limits. You could curse the person out all you want, but once you go kids, anything like that, it becomes a point where people say all bets are off, and I can say whenever I want.
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
I don't like what she said about Spice, though. Don't get me wrong. It was wrong 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But if Love and Hip Hop wants to do this and fire her, there's a lot of other people that need to be fired on this show. There's a lot of other. This show needs to be canceled in general.
Right.
The amount of things that have been there's been people who said worse things than Monkey on Love and Hip Hop.
I'm trying to tell you.
There's been worse comments than Monkey.
Say it.
Yeah,
There
they
has
have
been worse comments than Monkey's probably one of the least disrespectful things that has been said on this show.
you speaking facts.
There
And
has been
wait, I'm
worse.
gonna let you finish, Sebastian. Like Robin said, when things like this happen, they abandon the performers. They do. They do. But go ahead.
You don't. Erica is very wrong. I don't like Erica because Erica's just ratchet and get. Actually, this whole show, I don't like it. I don't like Love and Hip Hop in general. Everyone on this on these franchises, I don't like it. They're always violent. The men treat the women like they're nothing on this show. Haven't they? And that's another thing. I don't remember Mona firing some of the men who've hit the women on the show.
Let me add this, Sebastian. Veronica said, viewer reaction, glad they filmed it. Transparency, would you rather have not known about the comment? PR women are poison to the Black community. So let me say
Oh,
this,
that's
Veronica. So this what I want to say, Veronica, is they filmed it because they were filming. But it could have not made the editing table, so to speak. They could have left it on the table. And so they were so outraged and they thought this was so terrible. They could have fired her on the spot. They could have edited it out. We would have never had to see it. And they could have simply said, you know what? She was fired because of something that happened that, blah, blah, blah is not part of our policy procedures and we don't tolerate it. We have zero tolerance. But you right handled, but then you right handle, but you can't handle the comments that the people want to give to you because you full of crap. You right handle. Let me just go back to her Instagram again. She wrote handled, but then you turn off the comments. You turn off the comments because you don't want to hear the people tell you that you are. I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Can everybody mute till I come to you? So you turn off the comments because you don't want everybody to let you know you a day late and $1 short. And it should have never aired in the first place. Those are my opinions on that. Sebastian, continue.
I 100%. I don't agree with what Erica said or did, like the flipping of the table and etc. I don't agree at all with it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I always said, it may have been a triggered because also there's rumors that her son has a learning disability. She has denied those rumors multiple times, but a lot of people keep saying that, and maybe that triggered her something in her to get all up like that. But Erica does have problems. Erica has problems. Like this show is full of people with problems who should not even be on
Absolutely.
reality TV
It's
shows in
toxic.
general.
It's
It's a
toxic.
very toxic show. Love and Hip Hop in general, and all those ratchet shows that Mona Scott keeps trying to use to perpetuate Black women, something that she is, something that she came from. In general, they all have bad people who need help before they get on these shows
Mm-hmm.
with horrible childhoods. But also in that comment that you showed, Veronica, I think that's her name, she said something about Puerto Rican women are poison to Black community. That's not a very good.
It's almost no different than what's the name, calling the Black people monkeys, right?
Yeah,
So
that's no
here's the
difference.
thing. I don't like this grouping of people, right? Because no one group is all of this or all of that, right? There's particular people within these groups that make the situation look bad, so to speak, right?
Yeah, like Mona Scott making Black women look like fools while she's a Black woman herself.
You speaking facts. You speaking facts.
Come on now.
So it's not that the whole group make Black women look bad or whatever the case may be. Erica, Erica wished unaliving on Spice. She said she should have. Yeah, she did. Listen,
She said that because Spice, I think that's what after Spice. You remember Spice had
talked about
sepsis
her
and
son. Yeah, listen, both of them were wrong in this situation. For you to sit there and say that somebody's son doesn't love them, I mean, how low can you go? So the show is toxic. It's toxic, right? Of course, the minute you say something about somebody's kids, and I'm not saying that anything she said was right, but the minute you say something about someone's kids, it's going to trigger them, right?
Don't expect
And
it to
then
be not
and
lower
they,
than what
they
you
keep
said.
asking, why don't you put the son on the show? First of all, kids shouldn't be exposed on these shows anyway. And I thought she did at one point mention that the son had something going on, but now she want to say she don't. Whatever, that's her business. But no kid should be forced to be seen on the show, and the only way you would tell if somebody kid love them is if they're on that show or not. That's a stretch. Leave the kids out of this. Yeah. So yeah. Somebody said this right. I like this. Spice went low and Erica went to hell. She did.
Exactly. That's the thing. When you go low, you gotta expect someone to go even lower or
Yeah.
harsher.
Yeah.
I may not agree with what Erica did. I don't agree with what she did.
Right.
Because you can't, that was very disrespectful, especially knowing that Spice is Jamaican and so is Safari. So that means your children you have by Safari, you should have never said what you said, Erica. But still, you can't, Spice, what was she expecting? What were people expecting when she brought up her son from her previous relationship, well, previous wave relationship bar?
Yeah. So Happy Joy said, isn't Erica Mena black? Although she is Hispanic, she is Afro-Latina. So how are things off limits? Cardi B is lighter than she is and says the N-word. I don't know. Q,
Well, hurt people. So y'all got to think about that too.
I'm
yeah,
glad we are having this conversation because it's a long overdue conversation.
yeah. Q, what are your thoughts?
I have a few things that came up for me. Number one, when the white folks was calling Michelle Obama a monkey and had them political cartoons of her being a monkey, we understood it then that was completely unacceptable. What's the word? Reprehensible, whatever. It was no. It's the same thing here, in my opinion. And even though I hear what y'all saying, worse things have been said, that argument kind of reminds me of like how, when R. Kelly was finally going down, people were like, well, what about Epstein? What about Elvis? What about, all these other people who were also pedophiles? Well, they need to be in jail too. They should have been held accountable too, just like he is. So I feel like, and I'm more of a recap reviewer of these shows. So you all know more than I do. So you have have some things that I might be missing on this, but I feel like the cast, this also points to the fact that they're not being held accountable. They're being allowed to be reckless. On a lot of these shows, there are agreements between the cast. Like I think I've heard on Potomac, for example, they have an agreement where they do not talk about each other's kids. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the agreement that they have? And there are a couple of other shows too where this would not have happened because the agreement is you don't talk about people's kids or you don't spread rumors about people's marriages, whatever the thing is. So I'm wondering, and y'all would have to let me know, what is the overall relationship between these cast members that somebody could even say something so reckless. And again, I just want to say wrong is wrong. To call a Black woman a monkey is anti-Black. Not only is it racist, it's an anti-Black thing to say. And yes, the other woman was wrong because she said something about this woman. Kids, they both need to be reprimanded, however that looks like.
Right. I think from this is again these are just our opinions, everybody, but I feel like with the love and marriage hip hop, I feel like the bar is low on all of these reality shows, right? But I feel like with the love and marriage, I mean, I keep saying love and marriage, love and hip hop, I feel like the bar is even lower. They don't have standards. It's like whatever y'all can do to get this content so we can have a show, y'all just do it. And as a grown person, and you sitting there and we resorting to still flipping a table, which again, people could have been hurt, right? You flipping this table because it was a lot on that table. You're flipping this table, and it looked like Spice almost slipped and fell. And this conversation is going this low. If you do not have the capacity, no matter where somebody hits you below the belt, to not turn into that person, you really don't belong on these shows, because they already know the blueprint. And the blueprint of these shows is how low can you go? And they rewarded for this lowness. But like Robin said in the chat, it's like, okay, but then if the public gets outraged, they abandoned you. The same behavior that they've been rewarding you for, if the public gets too outraged, they abandoned you, and you're like, what did I do? I didn't do nothing no more than I've been doing all of these years. And again, I don't want anybody to think I'm saying this is right. It's wrong. But it's also wrong for these production companies and these people to use these people up and then spit them out and toss them off to the side. And you're firing me for the same behavior that you paid and rewarded me for all of these years. And hear me out. Not because I feel what she did wasn't wrong. It was dead wrong. But because they rewarded her for all these years, I would get myself a lawyer and sue their behinds. Because all the years that I've been working for y'all, I've been doing this same behavior or worse. Y'all rewarded me and you pushed me to be more performative. And now all of a sudden you want to say, oh, bye. The show is built on just all of it is toxic. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey everybody! Hey, happy Saturday!
Saturday.
Hello.
No, everybody looks great up here. Thank you, Diva. You got a little Saturday special going. That's nice.
Ah.
I kind of like it. So I noticed I don't watch these shows. I'm not invested so much in that. But I noticed that all week Erica was trending. She was getting a lot of negative pushback from what she, as I agree with you, she's been doing. The Love and Hip Hop series has been on for 12 years, 13 years. And from its beginnings, it was toxic. It was negative. It was violent. It was out of bounds. And as you said, people were getting paid for that behavior. However, it seems that the audience that is of now really took offense to what and how she said what she said. And there was a whole nother piece going on in there. I happen to think it's a good thing that she was fired, and I'm probably not going to be agreed with here, but I think it was a good thing because I find that a lot of people are out of bounds like that. Not just in a reality show. I'm talking about regular, everyday folks are speaking out of their bases. They're coming all kind of ways. They say whatever they want to say. They're offensive. They're insulting. They're rude. They're out of bounds. And I personally have experienced that in the workplace where you're supposed to be a professional and you've got a coworker who's inferring to other coworkers that you're some kind of a unintelligible animal ape. You're going around intimidating, making people feel uncomfortable, but you're not saying anything. You're not doing anything. Just working while black. Okay, and they were pushing a narrative to support it to the point where this person, I don't know, their culture. I don't know. I wasn't into them like that. But she went to HR and she said that she was speaking to her sister on the cell phone, whatever, in Spanish, and I began to mock her culture. I was saying unintelligent things. I was speaking in an unintelligent way. I just started making wild sounds. So just for the folks who are listening, I too was speaking to my sister in Spanish. I was speaking to my own sister in Spanish. And she felt that I was mocking her culture. So she put in a report to HR, and they called me and they asked me what I had said. And I said, about what? And I said, oh, I was talking to my sister. So because I am a Black American woman, a foundational Black American woman, who Sebastian, God bless you, Sebastian, just because you speak another language doesn't mean that you ain't Black, you ain't white, you're not Italian, you're not Asian, whatever. You just happen to know another language. Okay. And it turns out that my coworker says, well, yeah, that's what she was doing. Anyway, what she didn't know, folks, is I am not only a righteous believer, but I am highly favored. And so she has left. She had to leave because she was creating an environment that was so ugly and so hostile and so out of line. And I think women, particularly in her age group, who are watching these shows, they have no boundaries. So maybe now they've seen Erica has lost her paycheck, they will be a little bit more professional, not so assertive, aggressive, loud, so easy to engage, whether it's when you're riding public transportation, you're in a store, you're on an airplane, you're out at an event, where they'll be a little bit more responsible because maybe they're going to lose that economic base. Perhaps that's going to be taken from them. That's my opinion. So I'm glad she was fired.
Thank you, Felicia. So Grateful One said, but this isn't the first time Erica displayed this kind of behavior. But see, Grateful One, that's my point.
Exactly.
That's my point exactly. So you can't reward negative behavior and then you turn around later and you like fire me for that same negative behavior. I'm be like, what happened? I've been doing this for 13 years. I've been doing this for 13 years. And now what happened in year 14? And I'm making up the numbers, people, just to make a point. I've been doing this all this time, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. You say Erica and her former girlfriend Sin stated that Black women were mad and jealous of them because they were the preferred ones. She didn't use the words, but she's been doing this all along. So now you're outraged as an employer, but you've been giving her raises and hiring her back season after season, and this behavior has been displayed all along. So my thing is not, of course, take action, but my thing is be consistent. And there's some other people you need to take action on, because just like hers started at a low level and then it escalated, but that's normally what happens when you let people get away with stuff. It starts out at level 1, they get away with it, it rises to level 2, they get away with it, it rises to level 3, and then it gets to that point right there. You got to nip it in the bud at the beginning. Julius, what are your thoughts?
I just want to say this up front. I am mixed. I am both Black and white. I am a part Black. I am a Black man. Mm-hmm. I do not agree or condone the comment that Erica said. And I mean that from the heart. I truly don't. However, this is not the first time that Spice has talked out of her mouth way below the belt and nothing has been done. For years, until she left on the Atlanta franchise, she bullied and tormented Tokyo Toni, the girl that has the song "That's My Best Friend, That's My Best Friend." Mm-hmm. She bullied her, mocked her for filth and everything, tormented her. And now they the same color. Spice talked out her mouth to her. It was disgusting. It got to a point where Tokyo Toni, now she wasn't fired from the show. She left because it's so toxic. So this behavior, if we're gonna say this is not new behavior from Erica, this is also not new behavior from Spice. C- Case in point, again, look how she was treating Messy Boots Carly Red, who I would rather rock with than her, Rashida, or anybody. I'm gonna keep it real because you can't call me friend when you need me for something and then toss me away when I'm just following your instructions. Can't do that. Both women, not just Erica, Spice too, should be canned, terminated. But see, we don't want to talk about Spice's behavior. Like we got to keep it real here. This is not the first time that Spice has talked out her mouth, degrading, bullying, dragging someone disgracefully, disgustingly. Not the first time. She needs to be fired too. The kid, Erica, she has talked about her son at length. That has always been a soft spot for her. I'm trying to pronounce my words very clear here. That has always been a soft spot for her. That should not have came out of Spice's mouth. Spice decided to take the word of Safari, but not immediately calling Erica and say, "Yo, did you just say that I'm gonna be blah 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 blah?" Like she likes to claim she a grown woman. She's not. But who does she run to talk about this with? Shakana, another messy one. Now get this, Shakana and Tiny from Escape used to be cool. They had a major falling out. They don't even follow each other on social media. It goes to the toxicity of that, like, yo, cut the crap. Me, personally, both of them should be fired.
I feel that way too. Let me get Emmanuel in because I'm trying to do express train. Misbehaving, it was necessary for this to be shown. But I'm trying to, this is me respectfully. I'm trying to say why do I have to see it? You could have fired this girl because we already seen enough negative and toxic stuff. You got the footage. You thought it was so bad that now you want to talk about you going to put on your Instagram handled. No, boo-boo. Handle it when you see the footage and say, you know what? That's not how I want Love and Hip Hop to be represented. Cut that out. Fire her right now if you felt that she needed to be fired immediately. But again, it's just my opinion. Emmanuel, your thoughts?
So I watch like all reality shows, but I just don't watch Love and Hip Hop or Zeus. But why is Love and Hip Hop in MTV? I thought that was in VH1. I don't know, and I didn't
It's
know
a money
Shakana was on the show either.
thing.
So let me start by saying the chick probably, yeah, they did the right thing by firing her. I mean, you can't call a black person a monkey because that is a way of dehumanizing the black race. Like that's not okay, whether it's a Latina saying it to a black person or a white person or even a black person saying it to another black person. Like you just can't
Agreed.
call someone else monkey. But I will say you also can't say my son loves me, your son hates you, your son wants nothing to do with you. What are you going to expect? She's going to go as low and as dirty and as hurtful as she can because that was, what you said was very low. So, like I said, I don't watch the show, but one of the things that was kind of bothering me, I was on Twitter in the morning and everybody has something to say about this. And somebody said, let this be a lesson to all black people that we should not allow other races into our circle. No Latinos, no Asians, no whites. And I'm just like, how does that solve anything? Like,
It doesn't.
What? Yeah,
It
so
doesn't. And then I'm gonna let you finish, Emmanuel. Then I want to say this. People say it's a black show. See, here's the thing. What do we want? What do we want? Right? We get mad if there's a show and there's no representation of other cultures on that show. But then you want us to have a show and you want to call it a black show. What do we want? Are we going to integrate and get along? Or you want to have this is a black show and nobody else should be on it, but then you want to have other shows and you want to see us represented on that show? Are we mixing or are we not mixing? What we doing? So I don't know what they mean by Love and Hip Hop is a black show. What does that mean? You can't get along if you're not trying to get along, if you don't integrate, right? So my thing is the words was in her vocabulary, because you usually, even when you have an argument, you're not going to curse somebody out if you usually don't curse. It's something that's already in you. So this was in her. And I understand why she went low, because girlfriend went low. Your son don't love you. Yo, talk. There's so many things she could have said about Erica alone. And at the table, when you see the whole argument, you see that she was really pissed. She's pissed about her in this relationship with Safari. But you know what? At some point, you saw the red flags with this man and you decided to have 2 kids with him. And like many people are pointing out, your kids are the very name that you trying to, can get hurt by that very name that you call Spice. Because they have black. If that makes any sense. But continue, Emmanuel.
No, that was it. Yeah, I think the right thing, if they're gonna fire that one, they should just probably fire the other one. Melina Scott and them, they're full of it, because somebody on Twitter had posted that chick had just gone in to do her confessionals like 2 days ago before this came out. So it's a mess. Hopefully this show ends, because it's like, what is it teaching people?
Agree.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely, I agree. It's time for it to end.
Agree.
How about, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's time for, unfortunately, the way a lot of these reality shows are going, for a lot of them to end.
I agree with that too.
Because most of them now, everything is toxic. You know, you don't want to show us, you calling the show Real Housewives or whatever, but every time there's a relationship with husband and wife, it ends up being some negativity behind it. If they're not calling the husband a name, saying the husband is this, that, they're a cheater, it's always something crazy. Ali, thank you for the super chat. I'm coming to you, Dustin. A light-skinned black woman, just Brittany, told Erica to take care of her son in a past season. Why didn't Erica call her a monkey? Maybe because just Brittany fits the European phenotype. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but take care of your son and telling you that your son don't love you are 2 different things. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. She said her son hated her.
Yeah. Hates her. And then when they was on the outside and she was talking about, I miss sitcoms too, Nadi. When they was on the outside and she was telling production, because I take it as a lot of people keep pushing for her son to be on this show, right? When she was telling production, he doesn't want to be on it. Why is everyone pushing me about my
He's
son?
16. He has a right.
And he has a developmental problem, so she don't want her son, and like that.
She's very protective of her son. Very protective.
Yeah, and she should, as she should be. Because we see even the other children that have been on this show, and we've seen how people come at them.
But this ain't the first. This is the thing. This ain't the first time on a reality show that somebody has been called a monkey. Because if y'all remember back on Basketball Wives, OG was called a monkey.
Yeah, she was.
And who's coming back this season? Evelyn Lozado. So the collective outrage is ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah,
and nobody was talking about her season.
Outrage.
You better talk about it, in my opinion. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. they tortured OG. And let's be clear, not on the same level, but what's the name from Potomac gets a lot of heat
No,
too.
it was worse, Diva, because they wouldn't film with her. They didn't tell
Oh,
her
I
where the
know.
reunion was.
You
She
see the
got
facts.
tortured.
But what I'm saying is the dark skinned ones in general seem to get the heat. And although the heat may not be on the same level, they get the heat. Monique from Potomac, Candace from Potomac. What's her name?
Wendy.
What's the other one? What's
Dr.
the
Wendy.
Dr. Wendy from Potomac. The darker hued sisters on any given reality show gets heat. The heat just comes in different forms and level, but they get the heat. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
My thought to this, David, you shouldn't be calling. What she did was respectful, and I'm glad she did get fired because it's very disrespectful to call uh, anybody. It's very disrespectful to call somebody a monkey. I don't care if you're. Uh, I have respect for people. I have respect for people, and I love all the people. Now, I don't care if you're white or black. You should have just as amount as respect for anybody, and you're calling somebody a monkey. That is so disrespectful, and that is so sickening to me. So I'm glad she's off of the show, and I hope she don't get allowed to come back. I'm glad she's fired. That is so sickening to
Right.
me
Dustin,
because
I'm sorry.
how I'm sorry, David. How would you like it somebody call you a monkey? I know I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it as your best friend, David. I wouldn't like it. I would do. I would do something for you if I had to. I'll do anything for a buddy on this panel. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't matter to me what color you are, or what color you are, what color your skin is. That's so disrespectful.
Dustin, I love you. You know, this is a prime example to me, and I always love when you come up here, and I always love when you sit amongst us, and no matter what we talk about, you here and you in the midst, and you hanging there, and you never disconnect, and you stay in for the conversation, and I truly appreciate you. And I
You're welcome,
really
David.
feel like, thank you, and I really feel like this: when if we're going to blend, it's going to be a period of a rocky road.
Well,
And I'm talking about, hold on one second, Dustin. I'm talking about on these reality shows. It's going to be a rocky road.
yeah.
And until we get past this rocky road, if every time the rocks come, we say out with the person, then
Yeah.
we're never going to learn how to blend and get past this rocky road. For instance, I really did not like, but this is just diva. I don't want anybody does not have to connect to my thought process. I really didn't like them find Anila from Married to Medicine.
I didn't either.
It's like, okay, so at what point are you going to leave the person there, get past the difficult conversations, and help them understand? I've been to several different cultures, like weddings and events, and they had to teach me, like, oh, this is what we do, this is how we this is how you show up, this is what you say to this person, so forth and so on. If they was not willing to teach me, how would I know? How will we ever blend?
Yeah, you
You
got
gotta
to
be
teach it.
willing to teach. You gotta be open. You gotta be forgiving. And do not get it twisted, anyone. That slur was disrespectful, uncalled for. But there's so much stuff that goes on these reality shows that are uncalled for and disrespectful. And if we're going to shut the people down, let's shut them all down.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second,
Yeah.
Dustin, please. Ali, thank
I'm
you for
sorry.
the chat. They are not different things. Telling a person to take care of their child means they're neglecting their child, which is a form of child abuse. Thank you so much for your super chat. This is a lot. It's a heavy conversation. Leo, what are your thoughts? This is a lot.
Okay, I had to get off mute. Right. So I'm personally, I have been thinking about this a lot, and I'm not gonna say I'm not in the conversation about how disrespectful she was because she was, but Spice was disrespectful too, and so I feel like this was already known. I'm pretty much going to the side of Mona Scott Young and this show. It was already edited. They aired it for the conversation, for the
Mhm.
outrage, for the
Yep.
clicks, for the
Yep.
views. They
Yep.
aired it for that, and then they came on the back end and gonna say this girl is not gonna be a part of the show. But keep in mind, this girl been a part of the show for years, and not just in Atlanta. She was in New York. She was
Come on.
in Love and Hip Hop New York, and they
Yep.
transported her down for her TV value. And I don't really watch this show. I don't really watch the franchises of this show. I had started, but it was just too much for me. But she is good TV for their audience till they moved her to Atlanta and was on the Atlanta show. She hooked up with Safari for the Atlanta
Mhm.
show. She had 2 kids with Safari for the Atlanta show with a whole other kid that's in New York. So all of these things, they are, I feel like they are predators.
Mhm.
And I say this in the words of they all looking for good TV at any cost.
Woo! That's it right there. At any cost. At
At
any
any
cost of destroying their talent.
Yep.
Okay. The mental
Destroying the audience. Destroying the
destroying the
audience. These
audience.
people going back and forth on the social medias about
That
this,
part.
that, who right and who wrong, and all of this. The whole thing is a suit of
Toxic.
toxicness. The whole
Yep.
thing.
The whole thing. You said it perfectly. They're playing with all of us. They're playing with all of us.
Sure are.
This toxic the toxic mess, and like you said, they knew you had an opportunity. We just said the other day, many people were saying, why did Candy air such and such when she had the opportunity to edit it out? So here with this, let's stick with the same thing. You had the opportunity to edit it out, and y'all been doing this thing for decades. Decades. So if you cared so much and you was going to handle it, you should have handled it before it came on television for thousands or maybe millions of people to see. And what happens a lot of time when it gets a lot of traction like this, even people that don't watch the show may go back, but we got the opportunity to see the clip. But people may now just go back and to see that whole episode to see how the whole thing played out.
Right. And it's disgusting and it's ugly. And
Yep.
I hate it. And I hate it because she got kids to feed too. Like this Erica Mena girl, she been always in these streets. She had a little controversy with DJ Envy and all this other kind of stuff going on, but now she ain't got her check coming in. And so like y'all play her, y'all playing us,
Yep.
y'all doing the most, and it's like,
Yep.
how
And then
can
you're igniting this whole racial thing, which you
yep.
could have prevented by not even showing the mess and handling those two girls behind the scene and cutting it out.
And I'm gonna say this one more thing too. So
Yeah.
Spice got on the interview right after this episode was aired,
Uh-huh.
and she basically said she had no problem.
Yep.
She was things are said, this, that, the third. It happens. You can't. I know who I am. I can't let
Yep.
words define who I am. So look, she's towing the whole company line too. After the whole controversy was said.
Yep. And saying that she's okay. I saw that. I saw that too, Leo. I saw that too.
So why everybody else up in outrage? If she ain't mad, I ain't mad. She
That
ain't mad.
part.
She's gonna continue to get her check. She holding her lip right because she probably on the banana peel too, about to get put out. And so she trying to hold on to her check.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's a mess. Yeah, come on, Naughty. Ratings. Selling your soul to the devil. So here you have a woman that is of the culture talking about Mona Scott, okay, who can show better and do better, but you got the bug too. A lot of people, once they say anything when they start, but once that money start coming in and they're liking that lifestyle personally, they don't give a darn who they sell to the devil. They sell their soul. While you're there, why don't you even tell these ladies, I don't want y'all coming across like this? But she don't give a darn. Now, I ain't saying I'm in love with anyone in particular, but that's why a long time ago, Cardi B said, you know what, to Mona Scott.
I remember that.
Yeah, she sure did. She sure did. And that was a long time ago. She said Mona Scott was about the mess. Misbehaving, your thoughts?
Good evening, Diva. Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
So, I know it had it been me on that set, it wouldn't have been enough security or anybody to hold me back when she called me monkey. I would have been fired the same day. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I feel that it should have been shown because you want to show the behavior and you want to see the consequence. Unfortunately, there isn't any consequence, so it's reinforced. They could have went ahead and showed it, and then now that it aired, show that she really was terminated. They're not terminating her until next season. It's not a termination because if they did it right now, any episode that Erica Mena is in, they cannot show it. So they were okay, perfectly fine in the moment when that comment was made. It was only when they aired and they got this firestorm from the community. And I'm really disappointed because you have two African American women, LaShann Browning, who's the producer. She's the one that got the connection over at MTV. That's how Love and Hip Hop Atlanta got transferred to MTV from VH1. And Mona Scott Young. People continue to disrespect our community. These negative images continue to get perpetrated because most folks, all they're concerned with is the money that they're going to make and what happens to their family. They're not concerned about the community as a whole. As far as Erica's son, I don't even watch none of these shows. I don't watch that. Zeus, nothing, anything negative. I stopped years ago. I love when the content creators do their reviews. That's how I see what the drama is. I don't support anything negative because I don't see any other community having the worst in their community being displayed like this and pushed forward.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I will say in general though, all of these reality shows are toxic. Even The Bachelor, right? You got one man. Like the problem with most relationships, what I don't want to say that. Let me pull back a minute. The problem with some relationships are people being committed to just the one person. Then you have a show like The Bachelor where there's one person and 99 people fighting for this person's affection, kissing them, carrying on, being messy. I mean, most of these reality shows are toxic in one way or the other. And now, which I don't know if I'm gonna watch it for the comedic purpose of it all. Now they got the golden or the senior bachelor. He looked good for 72. And now I just don't even want to see these senior citizens. And I'm not being disrespectful because y'all all know my age, right? I don't even want to sit there and see these senior citizens literally fighting over this one man. It's a mess. They're toxic. Manel and Poppin, what are your thoughts? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I personally feel like, if Spice isn't upset about it, that's good for Spice. However, Erica and a lot of white passing or white looking like others and Hispanic people, they get away with a lot, right? And my thing is, I feel like for Erica to have said that with such normalcy, it wasn't the first time she said something that dirty and down low in front of those group of women, and they gave her a pass because she wasn't speaking to them, right? If she would have been stopped from whenever she's done it in the past, she wouldn't have been so comfortable to let it fly. I don't think she would have been as comfortable as she was, even though she supposedly has this big anger management issue. I think she would have thought it through, right? Erica and a lot of women like her think that they're a preference, right? Black men have them, a lot of black men have them thinking that they are a preference. However, they get no different treatment from any of the black women who they think that they are above. Any other job, if she would have said that type of rhetoric, a job with an HR department, she would have been terminated immediately. So for people to keep giving it a pass of why are people so upset, you know, she shouldn't have said this. She was talking about the woman's child. She this, she's that. You know, Spice saying your child doesn't like you. Spice is the only one who said your child doesn't like you. I don't feel like Spice was attacking her child. She was speaking to her as a parent. Was she in place to say that? No. But it's not like, oh, Spice said, oh, you spick or something. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say, but you get what I'm saying. She didn't come at her like that. So for you to just come and make the monkey noises to just reinforce how much you feel like she looks like a monkey, you know, what does she say to her children who are half Jamaican? What does she say about Safari's mother, who to me, you know, looks like she could be related to Spice? I don't care what she says to Safari, because he's an attention whore. She's an attention whore. I feel like the entire franchise, basketball wise, Love and Hip Hop, all of them have no value, no fundamental value. They just sit here and they emulate this falsehood. It's all performative. And these younger people, they leech onto it, and they feel like it's real life, and they want their lives to be like this, and they emulate these people who are doing things for the camera, who really don't have anything, because without this source of income, I don't know what this woman is going to do. She already looks like she really needs some type of mental therapy. Now she's losing a source of income. And VH1 or Mona Scott or whomever, because Mona Scott is a whole different situation.
Right.
They were strategic to say she will not be on the up and coming the next season. They didn't say forevermore. They didn't say off the franchise. They said the next season. So it's basically they're going to play it along like they did with Evelyn to see if you keep her off the camera, keep the people from talking about her, she'll reemerge. And we that's so upset, this is what I'm saying about this fake outcry of rage. Keep the same consistency. When you see her come on your camera again, keep the same thing, be it another Love and Hip Hop franchise, this Zeus thing, Love and Hip Hop, whatever, because she will reemerge. They will put her back because she is quote unquote good TV, because people turn in for the crazy. They're very strategic. Do away with all of it. I wish everyone would just boycott their network, their franchise altogether. Stop Mona Scott's money also, because she spearheads it all. You know, I'm tired of the colorism, the featureism, the racist, the rhetoric. But unfortunately, in my lifetime and probably in the next lifetime, it's not going to go away. But we need to start taking a stance, making people be held accountable for their words, because for every action, there is a reaction. I don't condone whatever Spice said to her. Again, I don't think Spice was talking about her child, but her in particular. Spice, as a reggae artist, as big as she's supposed to be, I don't even understand why she's on this show messing up her entire brand as
Woo!
well.
You speaking the
Everybody is,
word.
you know, it's the
That part.
horrible thing. It's the
Speak
horrible
on
thing.
it.
We don't need to be on here. That's it. I'm sorry, people. I'm
No,
off.
no, 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 no.
Keep going,
Listen,
because
listen.
you were saying a whole sermon.
Okay, yeah,
Keep going.
Okay.
you were. Let me just say this. Luciana, thank you for this because you are correct. She said, Miss Diva, most of the stuff going on the reality TV is happening in real life. You're speaking facts. Put on our heads in the sand will not change the real world. I appreciate your comment and everybody's comment and everybody's thought process on this because everybody is speaking facts. And you reminded me that you are correct. She did also make the monkey sound. She did.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
did.
she definitely wanted to grind into it.
She did.
She covered her mouth so that to cuff it so that you could hear it in case you couldn't hear it. She said it 3 times and then to go and make the sound. And not only did she make the sound, she gestured her hands on the doggone window of the SUV like a monkey climbing a tree.
She
It's
did.
just like she has to be held accountable because if not now, when? This is bigger than her. This is bigger than her because if you continue, if they would have stopped Evelyn, but when she did it,
Yeah.
maybe we wouldn't have gotten here. But because you don't stop it in its tracks,
Right.
it festers and it gets worse
Speak it.
each and every time.
Woo! Well, you are correct. Sandy 2 cents. Thank you for the super chat. These light-skinned and non-black women are often how am I saying this word? Embodied by those emboldened by those black men who make them high value over darker black women. That's a whole nother conversation. But thank you for the
That's a
super
whole
chat.
nother conversation because there are black men who don't just go to lighter toned Latinas as well. They also go to dark Latinas as well. There's a difference. There's also cultural differences
Come on,
that
Sebastian.
Yeah, there
that
is.
black men prefer.
That's another conversation we can have. But
And when I mean black men, I don't mean like black men in general. I mean
I
African
know what you
American
mean,
males,
Sebastian.
not like
Fine. You're fine.
yeah.
But give me 1 minute. But you reminded me, and I will add this to the conversation, people, because it did slip my mind or I forgot or whatever. She did make the monkey sound. She did take it to a whole nother level. I did forget about that piece of it. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Whew, you know, I'm in agreement with you, and I will stand by this. Nadi has said she wished we go back to these sitcoms. I do too.
Yeah.
This reality TV has gone way past the lines. It is way on the other side. And toxic is an understatement and is not serving a purpose of bringing the people together. It is pitting us against each other even worse. It is doing this colorism. It is doing this cultural lies. It is doing everything negative is showing up in these reality TV shows, and they promote it over and over again. But I have to say this though, and I'm not cutting on anybody in general. Obviously, I watch reality TV, right? Because I recap it. But the other piece of it is that yes, not only do we watch it, when there's not enough toxic in the episode, any given one of these, people call it boring. So they are giving us what we seem to want, and we're a little bipolar, so to speak, on what we want and which we think is too much. And that's just me doing real talk. You know, if it's not enough that happens in any given one, they're like, oh, that episode, it was boring this week. Then as soon as something happened, everybody gets riled up and they enjoy it. But then if it pushes the envelope too much, the people call their outrage and they're like, y'all need to do something about it.
Hey, Diva, can I say something real quick?
Of course.
I am of a certain age, and I remember when Real World made its debut on MTV. The show had a purpose, and they always talked about the purpose. And the show actually, in the intro, would tell you the purpose. You know, we're putting together whatever it used to say 6 people from different parts of life, and they would show Tammy and they showed this person and that person, and we want to see what's like if we can get these people together and see if they can do the real world. And then you got to see, oh, this is what a person from this part of the world is like. Oh, I've never had real conversations with an actual Black person before. Like that was like, and so they were like, so the
That's
whole
true.
purpose of it was this
That's
social
true.
experiment. And so it's like that was the original design for reality TV. Now, what is the purpose of these shows? And I remember around 05, 06 seeing Flavor of Love when it first came out. And I remember watching that laughing because I'm thinking this is a joke. Like they're not being for real. New York, you know, Tiffany Pollard or whatever, she's actually pretty bright. They're playing a character. All the women had these, you know, he would name them names or whatever. I can't remember, Delicious and all this. So it's like you're watching it and you're thinking, this is ridiculous. And then remember the one where the girl spit in the other girl's face. So that was
I
like,
remember that.
whoa, wait a minute.
That was horrible.
Right. But the stuff that we see today makes Flavor of Love look like Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street or something. So just the evolution of reality TV, it's just amazing to watch as someone who's been here, you know, to see this happening.
It was just escalating though. If you think about it, I mean, I'm of a particular age as well. I miss scripted TV. I miss the dynasties and the Falcon Crest and all of that. But if you sit there and you think about it, I didn't watch Flavor of Love. I do remember the very first show that you spoke about with Tammy Roman. But it's just a detriment. Just think back. People today put Beyonce on a pedestal, right? Just think back about Whitney and Bobby when that showed. That's when I knew things were going down. I laughed because I couldn't believe Whitney Houston, who was the star among stars. Everybody put Whitney on the biggest pedestal in the world, and they knew this woman had an addiction problem. They knew he had an addiction problem, and they put it on TV for the world to see, and it just spiraled. So what we see today, I'm not surprised. And the thing about it is, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because it's a cause and effect type of thing. They're giving you, like you said, what people claim they want to see, because right now everybody just want to be entertained, push the button, but don't push it that far. When is too far, too far?
And the talent doesn't know.
Yeah.
And the reason why the talent doesn't know is because they get rewarded for this bad behavior. And some of them get rewarded big. And listen, Lisa Rinna was Lisa Rinna, but Lisa Rinna got rewarded for that bad behavior year after year until they finally said, oh, you pushed that button too far. But you know what? You got my brain working again. You are right. They was very strategic with those words, because they was like, you know, the next season.
Right.
Just keep her out there. She's not on Instagram. She's not commenting. She is just staying low. I'm telling you, they told her just stay low because these people are fickle. They're mad today and they'll be mad about something tomorrow. Just lay low and you'll see her again. You will see her again.
You will.
Hey, Diva and ladies and gentlemen, that would explain why Erica came out this season blackfishing. Notice how she's darkened her skin, and everyone were commenting before this episode came out. So she pulled an Evelyn Lozada. That's the same thing Evelyn did. They were always proud to be a lighter skin, but then they knew the heat was going to come. Evelyn started claiming Afro-Latina after she had never mentioned
Evelyn did her DNA test. That's why.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going.
But I know what you're saying, misbehaving.
Right.
Again, plain in our face.
Right. And they brought her back. So Everyone's celebrating that she's coming back to Basketball Wives, and all they're going to do with Erica is let her sit out for a couple of years until the drama
Yep.
dies down and then bring her back. The public has to stop watching. Since
Yep.
you all know and you're aware that she's going to be shown in upcoming episodes, just stop watching. Don't give them the rating, because your presence, you tuning in, speaks volumes. That means you're okay with it. They don't have to show you any respect. If you turn away, they're losing money.
Mm-hmm.
So speak with it, tune it out.
You're right.
Whew, is very sad, and it's so toxic, and it's just very disappointing. And yes, that being Bobby Brown, I was shocked. So there were rumors about Whitney way before that, but I'm gonna be honest with you, because I happen to love Whitney Houston and everything she ever sung, wrote, or did, or whatever. I was just in love with her. I refused to believe it. The
Yeah.
first time I started to believe it is when, I guess it was the 25th Michael Jackson anniversary, and she came on that stage and she looked like two toothpicks.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, she was
yes,
a
That was
whole
the
yes.
first
figure.
time that my mind allowed me to acknowledge that there was a problem. But for sure, when I watched Being Bobby Brown, I knew definitely it was a problem. And I was like, this is a tragic train wreck. And
Yep.
who would even allow her to do
I
this?
never
Yes.
watched it.
Oh,
Thank
it
God.
was, I watched
It was
everything.
horrible.
It was a
It was
train wreck.
horrible.
And the other problem I had with that was that Bobby Christina didn't stand a chance.
Nope.
Didn't
Nope.
stand a chance. Didn't stand a
Nope.
Wow.
chance. So her
That breaks
life,
my heart.
yeah, I wasn't shocked that unfortunately she ended up on, the
Yep.
drug also, because she didn't stand a chance, and it was so unfair. But to God bless the grandmother, Whitney Houston's mother. She tried on a regular basis to get Bobby Christina out of that house.
But the thing about it is the network and the executives poured her out. Period. Because there's no reason that was for public consumption.
Oh, you're
No reason.
absolutely
No
correct.
one could have seen it. We could have had the little whispers in the
Yep.
neighborhoods. We weren't in her circle. We wouldn't have never known.
Right.
They put that on for months. I mean, it's still on VHS tapes to this day. That should have but they will. Mona Scott, she got all those people. She did the same thing. The only difference with the one Cardi B is, call it luck, call it, whatever. That's the only reason why she made it out, because every woman on those shows, right? Yandy, she had her taste of it, but I guess maybe she's a little bit more business minded. The other one that's with Kirk or whatever, she's another one too. They have all been disrespected on that show. Baby mothers having babies, the cheating,
Oh no,
the
that's
one
great.
with the guy from the Bronx sleeping on an air mattress. I'm like, these women, and Mona Scott is behind it all. She doesn't care as long as her pockets are lined. Her and her executives, they don't care about the talent. They don't care.
Yeah. Let me say this. This I will say about Cardi B. I will say this, she is what she is. She got her issues. So I'm not trying to say she's perfect. So work with me, people. But I will say this about that chick. She came on there saying they got 2 years because she had plans.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to her. That sister manifested her life and she did it. And when she left and said F Mona Scott, she meant it.
She meant it.
Never turned back. And literally that right after that, that's when she came out with Bodak Yellow.
Yep.
So my thing is that if you do go in these arenas, you gotta have a plan.
Yes.
A lot of them, they are afraid when this thing ends because they have no other plans. Their only plan is the next season and getting that check again. And that's why they continue to get worse and worse and selling their soul to the devil, because they know they gotta bring the drama and the nonsense to get that check. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to live my life like that. You gotta write a book. You know who I admire too? Listen, she's a mess. Nobody's perfect. But I like the way Portia did that thing.
She did.
Portia,
She did that
Portia
thing.
didn't she do that thing?
She did
Portia
that
was on there, got a divorce. She made the ultimate comeback. Sheets, go naked hair, candles, whatever. She did the darn thing.
She was
You
Dish
got
Network. She was
She
doing the
finally
whole.
brightened up.
you, listen, there was a commercial, Sebastian, because I know what you're saying. She finally brought it up. They said, but there was a commercial with the seatbelt, and you know what that commercial said? You can learn a lot from a dummy. So,
Here,
so,
preach,
honey, she call her what you want, not smart or whatever. The
preach.
girl did the thing on that platform that you need to do.
She
Portia
went
not
for
as dumb as she
265
played though.
days.
Portia not
Yeah.
as dumb as she
Yeah.
played. Portia
We
not
can
as
Yeah,
dumb as
say,
she
and let me
played.
tell you something. Them sheets of hers is amazing, y'all. Gotta get you some.
yeah, listen, we could say she's trash, she's dumb, she's stupid, whatever. She did the darn thing.
It's,
So
and
right,
it's
and right
fine
now,
for her team.
right, right. And how about this? She's on Amazon Live. Okay, listen. Here's the thing, though, too, right? She ain't begging to come back on Bravo.
She
Preach.
not. She refusing their checks. She
Come-
refusing their check.
refusing it. So my thing is, you got the rest of them begging to come back on Bravo because Bravo is their only option. But she's playing the game right now. Honey, they begging for her. And they looking at every piggy bank, seeing who they can skip money from to offer the money to Portia.
And
You
if you
better
think
ask
about it,
somebody.
she
Huh?
moved like the Maloof. She moved like Vanderpump because they got on that show and they basically solicited their companies. That's what you do. That's what you do. Bethany, Adrian Maloof, Vanderpump, and they never came back because you go, you use that. You if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So, like you said, I've never been a fan of Portia, but you're right about that. You're
She did
right
the
about
right
that.
thing. You know, Sandy 2 cents. I'm gonna say what Cardi B was more than just luck. When you can
came with
have, you know
intention. She
what?
came
Let
with
me. I
intention.
tell you what my one of my son's basketball coaches told him. He said, "A practice will beat talent out every given day." He said, "You can take somebody that don't know the game, and they practice every single day." And he said, "I promise you, they will rise to the top." But you got somebody with talent that don't even want to practice, and they're going to fall off their game. If you write something down, you manifest that game, and you keep going and you won't stop, at some point, you're going to rise to the top. You don't always have to be the best or the smartest, but if you consistent with that thing and you believe in yourself, you're going to get to the finish line. You're going to get to the finish line. With this thing right here, with this YouTube, I do not know what I'm doing, but I'm being consistent and I ain't going to stop. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Ain't
I
this
do.
the game?
Absolutely.
This one in the game? No way. It's people that know
Absolutely.
way more than me. They know how to maneuver this thing. They know how to make them thumbnails. I'm doing what I can do and I'm being consistent and I'm going on a consistent ride. You
There you
understand?
go. Yep.
Everything is not just about, luck. Sometimes people got a mindset that will take them all the way across the world. And she said it. And I never forget. I was like, this girl said it and she meant it. She told Mona Scott F her when that girl didn't have no money. This before she fixed her teeth. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you what this girl did. This before she fixed her teeth, before she changed her body, before she did anything. That girl said F Mona Scott. Because you know why? She believed in herself more than she believed in that check and that show that they was giving her.
Yep.
And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You got to believe in yourself. They got them performing like circus animals. And they all falling into it. They all falling into it. And they will tear down their own sister to get that check. And see, I'm not going that low. I'm not going to sit on here and get in no YouTube beef with somebody. I'm not even tearing my own name down like that. I'll pass. I'll pass. Go ahead and talk about me. I'm not doing all that.
Nope.
I'm not going to do all that. And listen, when I do the show, it's the show, and then the next day I'm moving on to the next. but I'm not about to get in the gutter like that. And I'm definitely not going to tear down a fellow YouTuber for what? For 50 cents on YouTube? I'll pass. You cannot let a check or a show turn you from your integrity.
That's right. Speak it, Diva.
Come on. If your integrity is there, let your integrity be there. But I ain't going to tear down my own brand and my integrity over no dollar. I'm good.
Yep.
And I tell y'all all the time. But see, here's the thing. I don't have a problem working 7 jobs if I had to.
You better preach.
Come on now. I don't have a problem living in a studio apartment as long as I got a roof over my head. And when we need to be cold, we cold. And when we need heat, we got heat.
Okay. Make a pallet on the floor if you need to.
You better talk about it. And this is true talk. True talk. My mother's home is only 2 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. And if I tell you the amount of us that lived in my mother's house while we was trying to get our own, and we made it work. What time you going to use a bathroom? What time you going to use a bathroom? This, that, and the other. And like you said, give me a blanket and a pillow, somebody on the floor, somebody on the couch. You got to make it do what it do.
Hey, and truth be told, the pallet was the best bed ever.
You better talk about it.
If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
And appreciative.
Yep. And that's where they losing it. They are taking this superficial lifestyle. It's all superficial. It's all performative. And they're acting as if this is their real life. And this is how you can really tell a person who really comes from like barely nothing. Because if you would sit here and dumb yourself down, lose your integrity, do everything just so that you could get and it's not like it's a little bit of money. It's a good amount of money. But to what end? To what end? When do you draw the line? Where are the boundaries of this superficial life? They all drive in Bentley trucks. Like Bentley trucks cost $30,000. The girl, B&B in Scrappy, they were in the house renting, paying rent. It's all performative. Oh, I have to move because he's not paying his part of the rent. Are you serious? Y'all are walking around with diamonds per episode, driving Bentley trucks, and you're renting someone. You have a Verbo. You're in the VRBO house. That's it. But yet you want to come across like you're of the upper echelon to these people that buy into it and get so invested in these people that they don't know. And it's all Mona Scott is in her mansion. I wonder how many of them really truly own their property. I remember when Needy talked about was it Kim? Oh, she's not even in a standalone. She's in a townhouse. I don't even like Kim, but it was hers. Big Papa so brought it for her, whatever. It was hers. Nene got put out of her house the way I understood it when Real House of Atlanta first started. So just stop it.
Yeah, you're right. And then you got these people watching and they want to do this same mess too. And then they're broke and it's just a mess. It's very sad. And again, it's a long conversation that we can have about this in general and how really it is bad for the culture and toxic. And when I say for the culture, I mean every culture. Every culture. Because over there on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the Judices, I mean, her name is not Judice anymore, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Toxic. You and your brother and the sister just fighting for 13 years straight. Just fighting. Brother and sister. 13 years straight, just fighting.
I would never.
Both. Never. So it's just they just destroying all cultures and they all selling their soul to the devil. I would rather go work at corporate, Target, whatever. Because see, a lot of them don't even know how to handle this money. When you get a check for $250,000 and no taxes was taken out of it.
Oh, preach.
Honey, you had better be good with your finances. Because literally, when you get a check that is bulk like that, the amount of taxes you owe on it is nasty.
45% at least.
You better come on. Come on. Come on, at
Please.
least, at
Look for
least
the tax man first. Look for
that
him
part.
first. Make sure you
That
pay
part.
him first.
So you sold your soul for 250,000, and now about 100,000 got to go to the tax man. You're left with 150 to do what? To do
And you
what?
overextended yourself because you done brought the jewelry and the
All
car,
this dumb
all,
stuff.
all of
All
it
this
that you can
dumb
see the
stuff.
externals. So you overextended. You had 250. You really have 125, and what you done brought is about $300,000 worth of
You
things.
better talk, and that's the problem that they fall into every time. Now I'm gonna say, Ross, I don't want to say your first name incorrectly. See, here's the thing: I do know how far back that monkey thing go, because if I earlier, my son graduated from high school, but earlier in the year before he graduated from high school, somebody sent them a picture. It was a monkey. They said coon. It was a whole hot mess. I know how far back that monkey thing goes. I really, really do. So I don't want you to think I'm discounting that, right? But I'm saying that we already know racism exists. Mona didn't have to show it. Mona is not like, see, a lot of people say, oh, Andy Cohen, he can't do this because it's black woman. Well, we got a black woman over there running and she ain't doing it either. I mean, if we're gonna talk, let's talk.
Period.
They said Andy shouldn't be having to doing the reunions because he don't know this, that, and the other. Well, we got a whole sister over there running the Love and Hip Hop, and she don't seem to be making the cut either. So who is qualified? You got your own black sister over there that's running a black show, and she ain't even qualified to do it either. She of all people should know that monkey is offensive and how
Isn't she
far back
Haitian?
it goes in our history. But instead of her cutting it out and find a girl on the spot, she shows it. And then she wants to put up, she handled it, but she can't handle the comments because she shut the comments off.
Diva, I want you to know, Mona went to Park West High School up there in Upper Manhattan, and it was a failing school back there in the 60s.
Oh, well, damn.
And that's where she began and ended her education at the Park West High School. Okay.
Well, boo. And on that note, y'all, I'm gonna get y'all because I said this was an express train. I can't even get to the other subject. We're gonna have to do that other subject another day. But you know what I do appreciate? I appreciate that we had this conversation. I know that it is she's full of it. I know that it is a heated conversation. And see, the thing that I do know too is people could say anything, but when they actually start to see that money rolling in, you know, it changes them. They start to live that particular lifestyle, it changes them, right? Or maybe it brings out exactly who they already was.
Yep.
What I'm gonna tell you what I'm not going to do, and let me tell you this too, even in the corporate world or wherever you work, if you sell yourself to the devil, you will reap the benefits financially. And if you don't sell yourself, then you don't kind of reap the same benefits that you would have reaped if you did sell yourself. But guess what? I will not, I'd rather sleep at night and be in my comfort zone than to sell myself out to the devil. Because you can't be mad about it, but then when you get in a certain position, you treat us the same way that you was. It's a mess. So Mona Scott ain't doing jack either. Huh?
When the check come due, like right, you sell it, but when the check come due, the devil want his payment, and the payment might your whole lifestyle, all your money, your reputation, all of that. And I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this real quick. Okay, please, Diva, let me. So, okay, my younger brother had a son that wanted to lie like all the time for everything, and he made him write down integrity from the dictionary, and he had to write it over and over and over and over and over again. That's what he didn't beat him, he didn't punish him. What he did was make him write down the definition of integrity over and over again. And that young man is an outstanding man. The thing about integrity is that it's got to be in your soul and your spirit, and it has to move you in your direction, left, right, forward, center, back. It has to move you. And when you don't have that integrity, you can sell your soul to the devil, and then when the check is come due, you will lose your job. I mean, it is so important to be able to sustain a healthy life, not a financial life, but a healthy life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Listen, guys. Somebody said they signed on and Bambi also. Yes. Okay. Listen, guys. I thank y'all for being here. Y'all know y'all always hold me over time, but we are out 30 minutes in. We're supposed to be a 60-minute train ride, but it definitely is a very important conversation. I think that unfortunately, because the powers that be, they're raking it in on these reality TV shows, but the only way it's going to stop is if we stop watching or if we demand more and write more. And see, my thing is, just like you said, the people are performative. Mona Scott is performing it too. She only fired that girl temporarily because the people were outraged. That's the only reason why she did it. Because if the people didn't say anything, she'd be sitting on the reunion.
She probably will be on the reunion though, Diva.
You think she's going to be on the reunion?
Yes, she absolutely will. It's about the money, remember? It's about the clicks and the views, remember?
That's true. That's true. But if you fire me, I ain't even coming to the reunion. You ain't about to use me, or you want to write me an extra check, and then I might come to the reunion.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you're right. I do agree with you. But listen, I'm glad you enjoyed the topic tonight. We can't get to the other one. I got to go. I love y'all.
All right.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Have a good holiday
Have a good
weekend,
night,
everybody.
Julie.
Bye.
Bye.